Hey folks, Jonathan here. Alright, just wanted to do a little update on a couple of cars here. So here is my 39 Chevrolet, and I've been driving this quite a bit, and most of you, if you'd seen it, it was stripped down to bare metal. And didn't do any body work whatsoever. In other words, you can still see, like in the front fender right here, there's some dents and a little bit of rust on the door. But anyway, I didn't do any body work. I just painted it, and painted it with just a semi-gloss black, actually a Rust-Oleum, and that way we wouldn't get any rust on the stripped down metal. And I did put running boards on it, and I do have to paint them yet. I painted the inside of them and painted, around the edge and the underneath and all before I put them on, so it would have black paint on it without getting any water in between and being bare. So here's our old ones. As you can see, they were rusted out. So we've got them both on, and hopefully I can get some paint on them here shortly. We've got a hurricane coming through, or supposed to have. If it ain't already through, I don't know. But anyway, so we're fighting rain right now. But just wanted to show you what it looked like with some paint on it. It's actually come out really good compared to what I figured it would. But one thing about it, 100%, not one drop of Bondo in this car. And I'm hoping to find another trunk lid, because the trunk lid's actually pretty rough. It's rusted out on the inside, and that was a replacement for when this thing was wrecked. And some of you will probably remember I have not done any body work. This is just where I'd fixed the repair panels, but I mean, there's no finish work, let's just say. No Bondo, nothing like that. But so like I said, I've put some miles on it. Nice car. Took it to the grocery store last night. Grocery store for me is about 10 miles away, so by the time you get through driving that drive and went up to Highway 55 grill, that's probably put about 24 miles on it just doing that. So it sees the miles. So all right, well, I've done a little work on the Franklin also, so I'll show you what I've done there. Okay, so from 1985, I think it was, North Carolina made a rule or law that you could run a original year tag on your car as long as you have your good tag under the seat and show it to anybody upon request. And I think the reason that they worded anybody is in case you was to get in an accident, you could show the person that you wrecked with your correct tag. But they allow you to run, the year tag. So I kind of lucked up on this. I didn't realize this. 1927 was the only year in North Carolina that ran two tags. In other words, not one on the front, one on the back, like you would think, but they ran a tag from I guess it was from January to June, and then from the end of June up until the end of the year. So this is a early tag. It ran out 6/30 of 27, and this was a late tag. This ran after that and was good up until 1928. So 6-month tag. And I was lucky enough to get one of each, and I know the Franklin is late tag, so we're going to put that one on it, and we'll put that one on the Elcar. And most of you may know or may not know, and I'm not going to worry about it even though it is a 28. The serial number on this car on the title comes back as a 27, a really late 27. Title says 28, and we've come to the conclusion that it wasn't sold until 28, so it wasn't titled until 28. And I guess that was a pretty big thing up until in the 60s. So everything about it is a 27. It's got a wooden frame instead of a steel. It's got no front brakes on it. It's an 11B. There's a lot of things about this car that in 28 they didn't make, even though it's titled as a 28, and it is a 28. But physically it's a 27. So we're going to put the 27 tag on it. And if somebody that knew the Franklin seen it and seen that it wasn't a, you know, that I was saying it was a 28, they would know better. So what we've done to it, okay, the engine's all back together and running. New pistons, new rings, new valves. I actually ran 1.5 inch Chevrolet, just small block Chevrolet valves because they were the right length. I've got a side panel here I need to fix. Welded up some things on the exhaust, just different stuff like that. Got it running pretty good. I used chromoly ring on top, and I wish I hadn't, because the more I run it, the better it runs, but it's not, they're not seating in like I was hoping they would. The good part about this is I can pull one cylinder off in 15 minutes. So if I had to take it back down and do some changing, I could, but so far, every time I get in it and run it, it runs better and better and better because it's increasing compression. So as long as we can get them to seat in good. I just haven't been able to put a lot of miles on it because, well, first I didn't have a windshield, and then second I didn't have a fuel system, which I still don't have. We're working on that now. And third, I didn't have a roof on it, a vinyl roof, which I do have now. So I done the vinyl roof, and it's not perfect. There's a little bit of wrinkling down the side, as you can see, and it may straighten out, it may not. This roof, I've done a lot of woodwork to it, and I think, you know, someone may have seen the pictures. I used toothpicks in all the nail holes, glued them in, and got all that finished up and all the woodwork finished that it needed done. And then of course put, they normally use burlap first, and then they use cotton batting, and then they use the vinyl. I used a cloth material on the roof first. It was really strong stuff, and then I didn't have any burlap, of course, and then I used the cotton batting, and then I used the regular vinyl, and everything worked out good on that. So what we're doing now is fuel tank, and I'll show you what we've got going on with that. Okay, so here's our fuel tank, and I think this is probably, I think about 12 or 14 gallons. Inlet on this side, fuel gauge on this side, and it actually sucked the fuel from the gauge side, and what it had was a hole on each side where it stuck up through it. So I needed a gas tank. This one here is shot. It absolutely is shot. It leaks really thin, and I mean it's so thin. It's almost like aluminum, sheet aluminum, but it's not. What I wanted was a fuel gauge on one side and an inlet on the other, which would be kind of hard to find. But I couldn't go in the middle with a fill because of the spare tire mount, and I really wanted metal, did not find one. I think I'll just paint the one I got, and I'll show you what it looks like. So there it is, 10 gallon, fuel gauge on one side, fill on this side. I've got to move the holes just a little bit, which won't be a problem, and I'll paint this tank. I got the hangers for it, and we'll still have a gauge, and we'll actually have it over where it's supposed to be, and then we'll have it inlet. Now, I probably wouldn't have done this a few years back, and you know, you get it in your head that you want everything totally original, or as original as you can get it, and I really didn't want to put an aluminum tank on it, but I'm getting to the point in my life to where, so would you rather not drive it because it's not original, or at least get it together and be able to drive it? It not only is better when it comes to increasing the value of the car, but you know, it makes it where you can at least enjoy it. And you never know, something may happen to me, and this stuff, if it needed to get sold, you know, the more money my wife was able to get, the better off it would be anyway. So anyway, we're going to get our gas tank on. We've got to We're going to switch over to this fuel pump, which is a vacuum pump. It's got an electric on it that, of course, it hasn't worked since probably the 40s. So we're going to do away with it and go ahead and put this vacuum canister back on, and I'll do some videos on it when I put it on, because these are really neat and they work really good. It's actually a vacuum pump up to the tank, and it's gravity from the tank to the carburetor. And the holes are actually here where the tank originally mounted, which they've got cable running through that one and a wire running through that hole. And there's 2 more holes down below, so it's mounted with these 2 straps. And I don't have the straps, so I'll have to make them, but it's okay. And I finally got the headlights together on it, and I may have said something about that before, but that took a bunch of headlights. Now this headlight ring on this one is not correct, and I hope to find one, but I did make it where it would work. So I really want to put some miles on this. I'd like to take it to the next cruise in. I don't know if that's going to work out or not, but we're gonna try, and it's not until next month, so we'll see what happens on this. And it does drive good though. I mean, down the road. And I actually, believe it or not, seen a thing that they rated as maximum speed at 65 mile an hour. And I don't know that I believe that too well, because it's on, of course, wooden wheels, wooden spoke wheels. I don't think I'd want to go that fast with them, but anyway. All right, so that's the update on them. And I did buy I'll show you another car that I bought. I don't know whether I've shown this one or not. All right, folks, here's a 68 Impala that I've played with a little bit and worked on. Fastback car, 2-door. I had one of these when I was about 17, so I kind of liked them. Now this thing's got a lot of rust around the windshield and the back glass. Not much rust on the floors and stuff. And it's got rust on the hood. The hood's shot. And I don't know if I've got hinges or not. They might be in the trunk. Let's see. Okay, when I got this thing, the engine had been put in, but it hadn't been ran at all, and it was actually new. And we're working on valve adjustment now. I've got to do a little more work to it. Put a China distributor, China carburetor, China gear reduction starter, and a China radiator. Radiator was leaking really bad, and you know, 20-30 years ago I didn't mind fixing them copper radiators, but now the copper's so deteriorated that it's not the same as it used to be. So unfortunately we got to put them ugly aluminums in there, but they do work good, I got to admit that, even though they're kind of ugly. But anyway, I have had this running, and we're having issues with the valve adjustment, so we're gonna keep playing with it, and I'll show you more on it. But it's a Power Glide 350. I don't know, someone has decked the block, so you can't read the suffix code and stuff on it, so I don't know what it's out of or anything. And I was told it's a 383 built, but I don't think it is, because it's got regular rockers, no rollers, no anything like that. No, I don't even think it's got screw-in studs or anything. I think it's just a bone stock, probably a rebuilt engine. So originally was a 307 car. Really like these cars. I love the way they drive. Interior's really rough in it, and it's all original in there, but the seats are falling apart. But like I said, it depends on how it runs out and everything. I did find a 350 turbo in the trunk that evidently is probably good. The way it's taped up and the way it's they built a bracket to keep the torque converter from coming out. They was probably planning on going away with his Power Glide. And transmission wasn't hooked up when I got it. The motor mounts was about it, nothing else. And no carburetor on it, no distributor, everything was taped over. Pulled the valve covers, and if you've seen the first start video, I haven't posted it yet. I'm going to post it tomorrow, but this is probably the day after tomorrow when you're watching this. But if you've seen the big block 454 and under the valve cover, how nice and clean and new it looked, this was the same thing. Engines that people put in and get built and buy and don't do anything with. And so anyway, we're gonna mess with this one a little more and get it running right, maybe drive it around a little bit and figure out what we're going to do with it for sure. So All right, well, I appreciate everybody watching, and that's, like I said, the update on the vehicles. And next video will probably be camper, as long as this rain stops and I can do something on it. All right, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye.